In this race, I found myself in a really tough situation. I knew exactly what was going to happen, but I just couldn't change it, no matter how hard I tried. But let me be clear, this video isn't meant to discourage racing, not at all. Racing is the part of the game, but what I'm saying is race smarter. Pick your battles and also be strategic in your decisions. That approach will not only boost your overall performance, but also help you grow in the long run. Alright, now with all of that said, I think it's finally time to see what exactly happened in my race. Radar is on and... Oh, really bad start from him. Oh, that car has a really bad start. He immediately lost a couple of places. Oh, wow. Yeah, that Toyota 86 has a terrible start. I do have to say that Toyota just doesn't have a great start. It was noticeably slower than the cars around it, and Karhal just couldn't hold his position. Unfortunately, he lost one place, but we didn't have to wait for too long to see him get that place back. But he got it back. And now that Toyubaru, or I'm not sure what's going to be the name of this. And what is the name of it? Oh. I go wide, he goes wide, everyone goes wide. Unfortunately for me, I went slightly too wide, which of course compromised Karhal's line as well. Long story short, we lost touch to the guys up ahead, and that's never a good idea around here. If you start fighting too early, you lose time, and the pack working together out in the front just easily pulls away. And once that happens, there is no catching them. But honestly, I just didn't expect what was going to happen. Oh, it's a second. No! Ah, yes, there we go. Ooh, there we go. Excuse me, keep it up. Ah. That was a nice save. And it all goes downhill. And now you're starting to see the real cost of pushing too hard and of course battling too early. Okay, I did a few mistakes on my own, but this is what it is. 3 seconds is the gap now, and it was just one a few corners ago before all of this chaos, I guess. And this is kind of racing you really try to avoid early on. Now, I've got to really push and just to see if I can catch someone. And that's exactly why I made this overtake. It was just no time to wait, and I had to try and I had to push, even though it's probably not the best place to make a mistake or just to go for a move, because it can cost you quite a lot. But here's something interesting you'll notice throughout this race, and that's when the drivers up ahead starting to battle too early, they lose a ton of time. It's great if you're the one chasing them, but it's really not that great if you're leading and trying to win, or just trying to work together to eventually get a better place at the end of the race. But every single lap with a fight like this one can cost you up to 1 or maybe even 2 seconds. And just like that, you'll see the gap starting to close again. And of course, I did some consistent driving and I finally caught up to the pack up ahead. And well, that was pretty much my whole mission in this whole race. So I didn't expect something which I think completely changed this race. It was good for me, but I don't think it was good for Karhal. I don't know, don't go for it. Yeah, we're losing time. He has its own race, but... Will they pit? they will pit. Everyone pitting. Mediums do not refuel. No, he put the intermediates on. No, he's got the intermediates. He really put the intermediates on. Oh, man. Intermediates. Come on. That's probably like the worst thing that you can do. Oh, I think it is the worst thing. No, he's... yeah. He might even pit again. Those intermediates will melt. Well, this was definitely one of those races with a very interesting race strategy, and I will show you the tire wear later. It was absolutely awful. Now, I had to work really hard to close the gap to P4, because he was really having some strong pace. What I did not expect was that something would eventually happen up in the front. One little mistake and suddenly everything changes. At this point, I really wanted to work together to see if we could catch the leader. In a scenario like this one with bump drafting and the way, of course, this custom slipstream works, there is actually a decent chance of closing the gap. So I wasn't interested in a battle. I wasn't interested in fighting. I just wanted to push, work together, and see if we could potentially make something happen. At this stage, podium was looking really good, but I couldn't help but think, maybe there is something more in this race. Maybe we can. No, 3.7 seconds is a bit too much, but I'm going to try. No, he's going defensive. But after the defensive move, it became pretty clear to me the leader was already too far ahead. But you never know. And it just goes to show every single defensive line, especially when in a combination with, of course, a slight mistake like we've just done, can cost you a lot of time on this track. The gap jumped from 3.5 or even 3.6 seconds to 4.0, 4.1. And that's a real problem. If we start driving like this, if we start battling too early, the gap to P4 is going to shrink, and that's going to happen pretty fast. We are basically handing P4 a chance to catch up, and that definitely wasn't my intention. Sure, okay, it wasn't the very beginning of the race, but it felt too soon to start fighting. My goal was just to defend just about enough to stay in contention for P2 and P3, not to fall back and get into a fight for P4. So I really tried to minimize the risk. I didn't want to start battling before we had the chance to close the gap, but the other driver kept going defensive, and that actually cost us quite a lot. Corner after corner, you can start to see the difference here. You could literally see the time going away. The gap dropped to 2 seconds, and then once again back up to 3 to the leader, which is definitely not ideal. Now, with 7 out of 8 laps done, sure, you've got to really start thinking about some moves, but in a situation like this one with custom slipstream settings, you usually want to wait for the final lap, and that's when you've got the best chance of making a clean and, of course, decisive pass that is going to stick. Of course, this track has plenty of overtaking chances, and there are also a lot of corners, so you can actually wait for that last lap. But now the gap dropped to 1.4 seconds, and we are already fighting quite a lot. And you can clearly start to see the difference and what really happens when you fight this early. So P4 was getting really close, and what can I even say? I guess the real battle finally started. Outside, maybe. Can I make the outside work? Can I make the outside work? Wow, maybe. Let's go defensive. Let's go defensive. Flat out, come on. Defense now. Oh, he overshot it. Wow. Ah, no, he's got the inside again. That's a tough one. I got a better exit now. Yeah, I'm going to keep this line now. I'm keeping this line. Oh, that's a send. That's a send. That's a send. Oh, who's going to get it now? I'm covering my line here. Wow. P2. Well, in the end, I'm not here to discourage good battles, because this was, honestly, a really good one. What I'm saying is, if we waited for a little bit longer, we might have improved our chances. We could have held on to P3 instead of slipping into P4. Well, he did slip to P4. I know it doesn't sound like much, but over the course of, well, for example, even a whole season, if you're racing for a couple of months, you can really improve your chances, and those small decisions can really add up. It's all about thinking a couple of steps ahead, playing it smart, and of course racing with intentions, and as I said before, thinking a few steps ahead. Anyway, speaking of strategy, let's finally have a look at those intermediates, and well, yes, they were really worn out. It wasn't pretty, I would say, but with a one very interesting car and a very interesting strategy, I'm going to wrap it up here. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed in this video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.